Ding, ding. Right, who we got? Mark, good to see you. S. Morgs, good to see you, my friend. I don't think we've spoken before. Toyin, Jarko, Vincent. Some new names in here. Bill, good to see you, my friend. How is everyone doing? Thought I'd just sporadically just jump on a live stream. I've been doing a lot of stuff recently, doing a lot of face to camera videos. You guys have probably seen. Kind of branched out to Instagram and TikTok and these different platforms. I've tried Snapchat. I don't know if any of you have ever been on Snapchat. It's carnage over there. So that's probably the one social media platform I'm going to drop. Although somewhat ironically, you get the most reach on there. So yeah, it's a bizarre one. But how is everyone feeling? Gene in the house. How are you, brother? How's everyone feeling about the recent crypto recovery? Which in my mind, I thought was just inevitable. I thought it was just a given that we were going to go up because the backdrop of financial conditions is much stronger than what the prices were suggesting. And I know it's not very nice when you have an asset and it goes down by like 60%, but it is part and parcel of it. And now it's skyrocketing and it feels good. But you got to kind of sit in that delta neutral spot. I did have quite a few messages from people, DMs and stuff. People going, "Oh, I bought some SUI and this sort of stuff, and the price has gone down." But what you have to kind of do is look at it as a risk curve. Bitcoin went down by 30%. Ethereum went down 40%, and Solana went down 50%, and SUI, because it's a lot smaller and less liquid, went down 60%. In any normal world, your investment is dead and buried, but this is not a normal world. Sid in the house, long time no speak, Sid. In any normal world, your investment is dead and buried, but this is not a normal world. These are network adoption models, and as long as there's people in the network, it doesn't really matter what the price is. Once they get battle tested, they kind of come back stronger on the back end. And we're seeing that at the moment. Obviously, where the big surge with Bitcoin, and in the same way that drawdown happened, it's going up in the same way. Hi Jay, life's crazy. Hope you're well. Sid, I hope everything's well with you. You've obviously clearly busy. Shane, good to see you, my friend. K. Dot, Christy, how are you? My number one Instagram fan. Um, I take notice. I don't forget. I see all the likes and the shares and all that sort of stuff. Really appreciate you, Christy. Parker, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, Christy, I never forget. I never forget about that stuff, and especially when people I don't think people realize what a big deal it is. It's just like, I know a lot of people in different have different financial circumstances and they can't maybe pay for a founding membership or a monthly membership, but actually just sharing the content is also like a way of showing support, which I really appreciate. And you'll see at the moment, I'm going absolutely ham on the green screen videos. And I'm covering everything and I'm trying to give people my best stuff. Gene, Joe, all is well. Thanks for the updates and lives, bro. I appreciate you, man. And also, I appreciate your message in the founding group, bud. It's always good to get good feedback. Brenny is a powerhouse. He knows his stuff inside out. He was actually trying to get, he was trying to get me on a call the other day, and I'd been out the night before and had a few beers. I was like, man, I'm not up to this. But he knew that something was cooking, and that we were going to have the shows that we did. So he was trying to get on a call so we could kind of call it ahead of time. But he called it a month ago. And this is the thing about Carrot Lane. What I want to do with it is really get the top experts. Christy's gone, I'm learning from your post myself. Christy, I really appreciate it. It does mean a lot because I've kind of hidden behind the anonymity of writing for a long time. And I've just been writing. But in that process, what has happened is it's crystallized my thoughts around some of these things. And I've gone really deep and narrow, especially on NFTs. I don't think there's anyone speaking about NFTs on the same sort of level, but also like simplifying it. So it's exciting. It's going to be exciting, and I think just seeing how things are playing out, NFTs are going to be the one. They're going to be the one. Like um, VFriends is going to be the one. Xcopy, Beeple, all those historical projects that we're sharing. God, I'd bet the farm on them. I'd bet the absolute farm on them. And then it's like, um, when you realize that it's just actually just the product of people having more money in their pockets, and you might not feel it at the moment, but there's going to be more money sloshing around the system soon, especially if um, Trump keeps kidnapping presidents and taking their oil. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't remember. We don't speak about politics on here. Um, Let me just share this stream quickly. Bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, there's a little link here. Link, copy. Guys, you got any questions? Just chuck them in there. I'm just going to pop this in the WhatsApp chat quickly. Bear with. Ooh. Ding, 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 ding. Boom, boom. Right. I'm just absolutely shilled the absolute crap out of this live stream. I feel a bit naughty doing that because I kind of just dropped the live in there and I don't really participate in sometimes the VFriends chat as much as I should, but it just is what it is because I'm doing so much content. Victoria Verdandi in the house. Everyone knows I have to do the obligatory shout out to Victoria because she's the first ever female solo artist on Ethereum. She's doing some really good stuff at the moment. I hear through the grapevine that there might be some new art coming out at some point, which I'm really excited about. James, good to see you, my friend. I don't think have we spoken before? I've got a couple of different Jameses. All right, there's 17 in here. Right. I'm just going to wait for a few more to join, and I'll give you a bit of an update as to what's happening. Yeah, sorry, James. I've got there's a couple here, and the problem I have, bud, is that there's no profile picture, so I can't match a face. Not anything against you or anything, um, but all good. Okay, we'll just give it another minute or two, and we'll just let a few more people join. I have I actually tried TikTok streams, and again, the purest part of the internet is here on Substack. Trust me, there's just a lot more maturity. Um, some of the things on the live streams. I mean, you do get a lot of people view the live streams on TikTok, so I've tried it out a little bit, but it's not good. It's Adrian in the house. How are you, my friend? I mean, some of the things they put in the comments, um, they get you to read out things. They said, "Oh, um, I can't actually believe I'm going to say this, but I am just going to say this." Um, and I apologize if it ahead of time if it offends anyone. But this happened on a live stream, and someone tried to get me to read out. One of my alts rebounded over 100% today. Very stoked. Which one was it, Adrian? Which one was it? Because there's everything's pumping at the moment. I think the thing to do is there's going to come a time. Oh, okay, very nice, mate. there's going to come a time where you've got to think about slowly scaling out of your position, because what's going to happen is a lot of people have got out of these risk assets really early, and they're going to feel a little bit underexposed. And when the price goes up, they're going to chase it maybe a bit later into the cycle, and they're going to catch it wrong, and it's going to draw down. And then if you have a 12-month bear market, you're back at square one again. And it's just like the slow and methodical thing. We've seen how long this thing has taken to play out. And then people have these narratives around the 4-year cycle, which are complete garbage, because the most dominant force is just business conditions. And then you look at all of the things that um, signal better business conditions. Because if there are better business conditions, there's new employment, and then people get pay rises and they have money in their pockets, and then the interest rates come down, then the mortgages go down, then people have extra money, then they borrow more, and then that extra surplus it finds its way into these assets, and that's the simplest way to think about it. But there certainly wasn't any end of cycle hysteria or overheating. I remember what the overheating was like last cycle in 2022, because I mean, there were JPEGs or NFTs selling for 30, 40, 50 Ethereum, and no one even knew who the founder was, or they didn't even know what it's supposed to do. It was just based on speculation. And they're selling for 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, and it was dangerous. And that was overheating, and people just had all this surplus cash. And you learn from those things. And at the moment, I mean, we're getting crushed. I mean, here in the UK, it's like £8 for a pint of beer. And that's scandalous. I mean, I remember, maybe 10, 15 years ago, going for you could get 4 beers for that, or for £10 you could get 4 beers, and it's crazy. So people are getting crushed, and if you know, I don't live a lavish lifestyle. I live quite a frugal lifestyle, but if I'm feeling that, you imagine what people are feeling who have kids and all these sorts of things. So we're not really there yet, and interest rates coming down, dollars coming down, oil prices coming down. So yeah. Anyway, um, TikTok live streams are not the one. This is the purest place. Um, they like, people drop messages in there saying, um, "Can you give a shout out to my mate?" And then I'm like, "Okay." And then they obviously put the mate's name is very provocative. When you read it out, it's either like a slur or a. So I'm just giving you a, and I'm not just talking one comment. I'm talking all of them. So there's just this harem of people just trying to like bait you into saying things. Um, but actually, if you kind of get them on side, they're right. But this is the hub of everything that we're doing here. Tim, good to see you, my friend. JS920, I don't think we've seen before. Byron, good to see you, my friend. Thought I'd just do a quick live just to hang out, answer any questions that you guys might have, and just give you a little bit of an update as to what I'm trying to do with Carrot Lane, because it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really exciting. I'm excited about it, and as you can tell by the level of productivity and the videos that are going out and the blogs that are going out and all these things that are happening, I'm excited by it. And obviously, this little liquidity pump that we're having at the moment is icing on the cake. But let me just start with what the plan is. So, a lot of you would have followed, or some of you would have followed me since my Medium days, writing on Medium, writing about certain finance topics. And over the years, I've kind of been at the mercy of the algorithm. You can spend a lot of time on there writing something really good, because actually, um, they promote good writing and good ideas, and I'll give that to the platform. That's something they've done really well. But it's the time execution of, over a couple of days, having to do like a brainstorming idea, then do a first draft, then a second draft, then a third edit, and then a sleep on it, and then four days in, and you eventually get this blog out, and then the algorithm chokes it, and it basically screws you over. Then you're 4 days into it, and you're thinking like, I can't. It's too much execution risk. So I moved over onto Substack. there's a whole bunch. There's like 90,000 people on Medium at the moment who don't see my stuff because the algorithm, which I'm fine with. Well, I'm kind of not fine with. I hope they do something. But then obviously on Substack, what I wanted to do is make this the hub of everything I do, because they've come out with all these features like the live streams, the DMing, like they've got the whole back end function for like founding members and monthly members and annual members and all these sorts of things. So they kind of sort all that stuff out for you. Um, but what is happening now, and you guys will see this on Substack, is um, everyone is now a good writer. So everyone, the bar for writing, everyone is now good because um, it's AI. Like people are writing with AI, and they're coming out with these ideas, and you can tell straight away that it's AI because, like, you think I've read this a couple of times, but it obviously enhances their writing. So there's no longer that skill in the writing, because a lot of you like read my stuff, and sometimes you'll read the regular like idioms or similes that I put into the writing. Like I say nukes quite a lot, or instead of saying, the market's crashing, it's falling faster than a broken elevator, or I use these like different terms um, to kind of flavor up the writing. But obviously, people are now getting better and better at things. So I have now deliberately um, come out on video because that is the point of difference, and I'm not I'm not doing it half-assed. I'm swinging for the fences with it, and I'm getting a mixed reception at the moment on the videos. So I've only been doing it a couple of weeks. Um, Very positive reaction on X from the crypto and the stuff that I'm talking about. Very positive on Facebook of all places. I mean, I've got like 26 followers, and some of these videos are getting 2,000 views. It's crazy. Um, and then on Instagram, it's a mixed bag because I'm talking about NFTs, and people are confusing my videos for rage bait. I'm like, I'm actually talking about something I'm passionate about, this thing. And I think someone put a comment like, "Oh, is this a parody account or something?" I'm like, I'm talking about an NFT that sold for like 30 grand, and it's like a digital NFT, and it's just like some X copy art or something, and it just looks like a bunch of bullshit. And people are like going, "Hold on a second." Um, so, so that has been the plan for Carrot Lane, and you'll see that myself, Simon, and Burge have been doing the live streams. And because Bren is such a top flight trader, I've been getting him on the streams, and also I've been doing stuff with Zeneca, and we'll kind of pick that back up as we get into the new year. But what I want to do, and the views are going to help this, and the exposure to the channel is going to help this, because the more subscribers I can get, or the viewers I can get on X, YouTube, Apple, the more enticing it is for some of these guests to jump on, and I can interview them. And then what happens is it's like I have the leverage. I then have the leverage. And if some of you were around, I can get these guests on easily instead of me kind of being thirsty in the DMs and going, right, can I get you on, blah blah blah. The views changes everything. And I don't, if a few of you remember back to 2021, a whole bunch of NFT projects launched. There was 73,000, and every single NFT founder was trying to get exposure for their projects. And what they would do is they would give an allow list to predominant communities. So communities who would um, ordinarily buy NFTs. But the allow list, if you don't understand what the allow list is, it's like basically buying the NFT off the market before it goes on the secondary market. And it gives you kind of first dibs on the NFT project. But the potential upside can be astronomical. Now, I don't know how the market's going to play out. There's a lot of execution I've got to do in terms of building relationships with the best founders. I also have to do the due diligence around the projects to make sure that they're actually the founders good, they can drive demand, um, and it's sustainable, and they're going to be around for a long time, and all these sorts of things. Um, but it's going to create a huge fucking opportunity. And now I know there's a lot of you that have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, and all these different assets. And that's great. And you should have those core positions. But um, when you go to the buffet, you got to try different things, and you've got to. Some of you have that kind of degen itch of wanting to day trade a little bit, and that's also fine. In fact, it's more than fine. You should do this for a bit of fun. But when NFT season comes, I shit you not, it's going to belittle everything you've ever done in crypto. It's going to make everything you've ever done look silly. And if a lot of you that certainly the founding members know that I share a certain cohort of NFT projects just to stick tightly to, and if you stick to those ones, I would literally bet the absolute farm on the ones I've shared. Like I'm eating my own cooking. I'm buying them as well. So it's not like I'm going, hey guys, buy this and blah blah blah. And also, I'm not suggesting that you do anything because none of this is financial advice. However, they're gonna fucking cook. They're gonna cook, and you should have exposure to those things, and you should have exposure to some of your like blue chip core assets, just so you capture the trend. But the NFT thing, people aren't really like. There's people in here that have crypto skulls. Who was it? I saw Adrian. I think you've got a crypto skull. I think Tim, you might have one as well. You're not understanding, or you may be understanding how astronomically high they may go to. Last cycle, they went to 4 Ethereum when ETH was at all-time highs. Adrian, I've got 2 crypto skulls. Yeah, so they have this Lindy effect, and now more people have bought them during the bear market, and now when financial conditions come in, and people start to realize that they're the second ever 10k PFP after CryptoPunks, which literally has a 28 Ethereum floor, they're going to see this mispricing and go, holy shit, there's a second one here, and there isn't that market knowledge at the moment, and this is why getting into these things now. James, I have a few good stuff. Um, James, I hope you got them because of a blog you read of mine, my friend, or maybe a one-to-one call we had. Um, but and all you're doing is waiting for time to do the heavy lifting, and still got 2 V friends who's 2 and 2 wrap strikers as well. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm happy to talk about those as well. So those just need time to do the heavy lifting. The historical ones, because what happens is the attention flows will come into CryptoPunks, and then the surrounding projects in the historical community will rise optically. They will just go up, and as soon as one historical community pumps, they all shoot up like fucking volcano things. And I don't want to big it up too much, but this is going to be good. This is going to be fucking good. Um, but yeah, but it needs time. It needs a time horizon and not a short time span. I'll just touch on the ones that Adrian spoke about. So VFriend Series 2. I heard Gary on a Spaces the other day. I'm potentially interviewing him. I had the team reach out to me, say that they were going to do an interview. Listen, compared to some of the guys he's interviewing, having said that, I've got the most subscribers for NFTs on Substack, and he should definitely do a live stream with me, but it's up to him. VFriend Series 2 uh, is the one. It's just fucking one. It's just the one. It's going to be the next big thing, and it is the one. It's $150 or $200. Like people should be buying them like it's confetti. And I know you shouldn't speak in this absolutist behavior. I should be hedging. I should be blah blah. No, now's the time. VFriend Series 2 is a strong project. He's got 65 million followers across social media. He's now putting out more about NFTs. He sells about $200,000 worth of merch in a 2-3 hour whatnot stream. He's doing a lot of this live shopping, and what he's doing is linking digital assets. And what people are doing is they're clicking on, people don't know shit all about NFTs, and they're clicking on, he's removed all the friction because what he's done is for book games, which is another project he had, is you can buy it with a credit card. You can buy a VFriend with a credit card, and it takes away and it's a couple of clicks of a button, and people are buying it, and it's been custodied by like I think a Rarible wallet or whatever. So he's taking the friction away. and he gets the most amount of attention, and it's just attention that leads to buying flows. He's got 65 million followers. He now has a huge community collecting the physical cards, the Topps Chrome stuff. So he's cross-pollinating the digital with the physical. And also he's had 3 years of econ where 10,000 people went to a conference and all met up with each other and mingled. And now the thing that brings us together is this IP. So we might as well just buy the IP. And it's just the most smartest thing I've ever seen. But what he's doing outside of what the other projects are doing is he's building a multi-character world in the same way as a Marvel, in the same way as a Disney. He's building out this the same way as Pokemon, multiple characters. And the mistake, I think, a lot of the other projects are making is their one character. So that one character has to hit, and it has to have meaning in the same way Mickey Mouse or Bart Simpson or, you know, it has to have meaning to people, and that's a risk. Now, they may already have big communities and surviving communities and all sorts of things, but the other difference with VFriends is he's building out the stories of the characters. And if you actually look at some of the stories, they're very compelling, and some of them have an adult. Well, most of them have an adult theme around a lot of the insecurities that people have around things. And it's very fucking clever what he's doing, because now, and the data backs all of this up, 92% of VFriends Series 2 hasn't moved since mint day. 92%. What are we talking at 90? If this was Bitcoin, we'd be like, what the fuck? But what people do is they get sucked into floor price. There are only a certain percentage trading at the floor, like a very small percentage trading at the floor. So you've got these traders who are trying to arbitrage the floor. It doesn't actually matter where it is. They're just trying to arbitrage the delta between their purchase price and their relist price. So they're just trying to do that all the time. And the floor tanks, and then everyone fixates on the floor and they go, shit, these are down, without actually thinking the actual signal is the holder behavior. The holder behavior tells you everything. 92% of the supply hasn't moved. That's all you need to know. And it's the largest NFT collection. So you're like, okay, people don't want to get rid of these. They don't want to sell these. And it's potentially going to have significant upside. I can't keep saying that significant because I can't promise shit. I don't want to be like one of these crypto thingies like, oh yeah, you should do whatever the hell you want to do. But I'm just directing you here because there's a lot of bullshit out there. And ground zero is these historical things. Guys, getting warm in here. I think the radio's blown. So ground zero is Curio Card, Crypto Skull, VFriends, World of Woman, and if you've got a bit of cash, X Copy and Beeple. And that's it. And then the one that Adrian mentioned, which is Crypto Strikers, that's the first ever sports NFT project, and it's based on football or soccer, which is really popular over here. And globally, it's the most popular sport in the world. Alexei Zaitev, good to see you, my friend. So the Rap Strike is going to be a big one. There was a lot of things around the licensing and all that sort of stuff. Full disclosure, Rap Strikers is my biggest position. So that tells you all you need to know. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on that. Core positions in that: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, XRP, Doge. Just that core of assets that have been battle tested. My bet for this cycle is Sui. It's smaller, less liquid. It's been performing on price, and it means that there's that supply friction because it has a low float tokens at the moment. And in a bull market, it can go astronomically high. But then as the token release happens, in a bear market, you've got all these tokens on the market, and then there's a drawdown. You have something like a Solana of last cycle, where Solana went from 247 to $8, and then it gets battle tested. Then you see what the community are about and see if they're building out things. But long before that, we're going to hedge, and we're going to look to this. And this is a founding member part of this, which is monthly. We're going to catch up on calls, and certainly in the next couple of months, as prices, I anticipate prices to go up. But we will talk about selling strategies and scaling out our position using different things like the ISM, certain signals around that. But that's a founding member thing, and that's the value that I want to give to people in that group. But the other part of this, having exposure to assets is easy. Buying it now, you got the secret sauce. You can just buy it, and it's based on history, nostalgia, or people, and you've got it. But during the bull market, you're going to want to participate in something like some sort of, because it feels good and it's fun. Like, it's not fun just looking at your pot and going, "Oh, I'll just shine that up a little bit," and then it's good. I've got this, and you're just bored. You kind of feel like you're sitting on your hands while this thing is just skyrocketing up. So as Carrot Lane grows and the viewership grows, so will the guests. But there will be, in the not too distant future, there'll be more NFT projects launching. And what I'm trying to do is position myself in the same way that it happened in 2021 when you had 73,000 projects all vying for attention, trying to get on streams and podcasts and interviews and all these sorts of things, is I'm going to position myself so I can interview all the founders. And it's not going to be for nothing. It's not going to be for nothing. And what a lot of these founders will do as an incentive is they will give allow lists, and they'll give an allow list option. And an allow list, and I'll just circle back, is, if you don't know, it's kind of like you can buy the NFT off the market before it goes on the market, but you get it at a substantial discount. I'll give you an example. You got to mint VFriends. Obviously, VFriends didn't have an allow list, but there was some. That's actually a poor example. A project I was in, Cyber Brokers. I got an allow list. I minted it for 0.25 Ethereum, and almost immediately they were trading on the secondary market for 2 Ethereum. So that was a 10x just because I got on the allow list. So that's how these things can play out. That's not to say every single one of these is going to be a dinger. So, but there's going to be some trading strategy we're going to talk about for people who want to get involved in it. And, it might not be, you've got your assets, but it might not be something that you want to like dive into or whatever. And that's fine. Everyone's different. I'm not much of a day trader, but I'm going to get people in who know exactly what they're doing. Obviously, I've got my wits about me when it comes to day trading, but you're kind of outsmarting the bots and all these sorts of things. So actually, the best thing to do is to get on the allow list, and then you can decide to sell it on the secondary when potentially the price is up, if the founders can drive demand, and that'll be my job to find out if they can do that. But the point I'm making with all of this is, at the moment, I've got 60 founding members. Some are far more active than others. Others are actually already active because I see they see all the posts, but they don't comment as much, and that's cool. And then others kind of just dip in every now and again, and it kind of works for them. And then we do our one-to-one calls kind of periodically. But the allow lists are going to be sectioned off just for the founding group. So that's not going to be a benefit for anyone outside of the founding group. And then also some of the strategy calls that we have around selling, that will just be for founders. So my hope for this, like, we've gone on this journey now for nearly a year. Tim, you'll know this from getting on the Zooms. Like, we're all kind of just mates now. We just have these chats, and like we got a guy called Alexander in the group who like stays up like really late. And he's got his whiskey out, and we're like just talking, and there's a group of us just on Zoom, and we're just like kind of shooting the shit for like 3 hours, and it's quality because we're talking about different ideas and different NFT projects and stuff. And it's exciting. But I'm gonna increase the because we had we got Victoria Verdandi in there, who's one of the top artists in the space, so she knows a lot of the historical stuff. We got Constantine in there, who's like the Curio Cards community lead, and he knows his stuff on the Curio Cards, which is ground zero for a lot of people. The other one I haven't mentioned is curio cards. People should own a curio card because it predates CryptoPunks, and it's the one. It just needs time to do the heavy lifting. Like, if that doesn't work, then none of this is going to work, because it's the first ever art show or experiment of artists getting paid digitally for their work. So if you can buy a curio card, again, let me check how much they are, because I think they dropped. I think it might be a couple of $100. But OpenSea. Let me have a look. I got a Mike. Good to see you, my friend. Do you know what? I try to eat healthy. I think, you know what? I'll go to McDonald's and I'll get a chicken wrap because that's healthy. And then you get in the drive-through, and then I see the McFlurry, and then they're like, "Oh, do you want that as a meal?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And they're like, "Oh, do you want that as a large?" And I'm like, "Well, it looks like the diet's out the window." So I've gone from chicken wrap to full basically meal with dips and a McFlurry with double caramel and chocolate in it. Basically cancel out my gym session. Um, I'm just looking at curio cards. Um, Mike, you just missed the thing with me talking about crypto skulls. I think you've got a few of them yourself. In fact, V1 Punk's Vault, he's very well versed in the crypto skulls community. I'll just do a reset for the people that have joined. I'm just talking about plans for next year for Carrot Lane, and one of the things I want to do is just be more transparent with what I'm doing with it. Um, I'm doing a lot more video content because obviously the AI stuff is squeezing some of the reach on the writing, which is fine because now everyone has become a good writer. Medium is dead and buried. I've got 90,000 followers on there and I can't reach anyone. And the execution risk to write on there is just far too much. So the next frontier is the video stuff. So I do a lot more of the live streams, but the plan very much is to get the best guests on, do the best interviews, but drive up the views. So when I'm in a position to interview all of the best founders in the space, and I want to interview better and better and better people. I want to get Raoul Powell on. I want to get Julian Bittel on. I want to get Jamie Coots on. I want to get all these guys. Michael Howell, who's like the liquidity expert. Um, you know, I'm going to get Gary Vee on at some point. His team have reached out to me to say that we can do an interview, but we haven't confirmed it. So I want to do all these things, but it's going to be dependent on the views. But that's going to put Carrot Lane in a position of leverage. You're going to be in a position of leverage. And when NFT season hits, and the one Punk's Vault, I hope you don't mind me mentioning, but you will remember 2021 where like there were 70,000 or 73,000 NFT projects, and all of these founders were sprouting up from everywhere, and they were launching these projects, and they're trying to get attention, and they're all over the timeline going, "Oh, have a look at this project, have a look at that project," and everything was like 3, 4, 5, 10xing, and we'll have that moment. But these founders are going to want to get on to the predominant podcasts, live streams. You saw last night we got 900 people on our live stream, and I'm going to have the leverage, and I'm going to use that leverage to get allow lists, and that is going to create an opportunity. Anyone who was there in 2021, Mike, you might be able to sort of speak to this in the comments or whatever, but like, if you got on the allow list, you're almost guaranteed a W. I'm not saying that the NFT market is going to play out the same way, but like cyber brokers, go back to the example of that, I minted it for 0.25. In fact, I gave one of the mints away to a mate because I was like, just trying to be nice. He made 15 grand off of a mint I gave him. I haven't heard from him since. No, I'm joking. He's a great guy. But then, they went up to, I think the floor price went up to like 6 Ethereum. And then some of the ones I had were rarer. So I think the category, it went up to like 20 ETH. And I ended up selling them at like 13 Ethereum, I think. I was like, wow, okay. So again, I'm not saying that that's the dynamic that's going to play out, but we do have a imbalance of projects versus potential demand. And what you might actually see initially is a flight to safety. So we'll get this liquidity pump, and some of these people in these NFT projects, which the founders haven't really been working on, it'll wake up some of their communities. There'll be a liquidity pump. People will come back into the market, buy some of those dead and buried NFTs. They might sell it at a loss, a break even, or a bit of a profit, but they'll make more thoughtful plays because they've seen execution. They might buy a Moonbird or an Azuki or a V-Friend or a Bored Ape, or even some of the historical stuff. And that's going to create this narrowing effect for some of those bigger projects. But then it's going to it's going to be a bit of a honey empire for other projects, kind of dovetailing off of those bigger projects or those IPs that now have 4 years of runway. So the exciting opportunity is I'm going to get these founders on, and it's not going to be for nothing. They are going to give me allow lists for the founders, so the founding group, and it's going to be ring fenced, and that's the plan for the business. That's the plan moving forward. And for a lot of people here, they've obviously paid a lot of money to get in there. I have this thing in my head which is really competitive, which is I'd love for people to firstly get into assets that I've suggested that just outpace everything, have the benefit, the community and the friendship groups, the one-to-one calls, which I mean, I'm doing 2 a year, which this is getting to the stage where it's probably commercially not even viable, but I'm going to do it anyway because I love doing it. I don't speak to anyone anyway, so I might as well do the one-to-one calls. And the monthly group calls where people are kind of hanging out together. I have this competitive thing where I'd love for people to go, right, fuck Jay, like we minted this one project and it did like a 5x and I just flipped it and I got it out, and there'll be strategies around trading. The strategy last cycle was like buy 3 of these things, sell 1 pre-reveal, sell 1 on the open market and keep 1 for a bit of a moon bag. Things might change. Maybe the market isn't as sensitive as it was last time, and maybe it's instead of a 10x, it's a 3x, and you'd take that. But the fucking opportunity, guys, this is going to be a big opportunity. I am going to ring fence it in the founding group, and the selling strategy is going to be in the founding group, and the allow list stuff and any of the benefits. If the newsletter gets sponsored, it goes into the founding group for NFT giveaways. And the NFT giveaways are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, I've given away a VFriend Series 2 recently when it was at like $300. The person who won it basically got their membership back. It's like, so yeah, that's my speech because none of you had any questions. So punchline is get yourself in the founding group. It's Carrot Lane 2026 is going to be the year of the founding group, because, and I'll let you in on a little thing here. What you guys don't see in the background is when, and I know I get a lot of love from people, and I fucking love that, and it means a lot. Like when Gene drops in and he says a nice message, and it feels good. And a lot of people they can see it. They can see what's going to happen. It's quite obvious, but the trend line isn't like that. Unfortunately, the trend line is like a heart rate monitor. And unfortunately, when we're down here, is folks want to message me and tell me what they think, and I know it comes with the territory, and I am prepared to accept that, but not from free subscribers. I'm not prepared to accept that from some random person on the internet who decides to read my stuff. Doesn't have the context of actually we're playing a cycle here, or not. In fact, we're not playing a cycle. We're playing financial conditions here, and there's signals that we're looking at which are actually more laser sharp than some of the headlines that people are reading. And actually, a 60% drawdown in SUI is nothing, and we've seen it just go back up again. And like I've got friends at the gym who don't really read the newsletter, but I share some of the ideas, and they hear sound bites, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, Jay says that's a good idea," and I'm like, "But listen to what I'm saying," and then the price goes down, and then their mental construct is like a traditional investing construct, which is 60% down it means it's dead, and I'm like, no, you just got to trust the process here. I had Solana at $247, it dropped down to 8, right? I had NFTs that basically dropped by 99% on a nominal basis. And because I'd been day trading, I then had the tax event on those day trades up here. So I made all the mistakes. So you guys don't have to. This is why this is, like the SUI thing. I'm not sharing it as like this looks like a good one. This before I even wrote a blog about it, there was like 3 months in the lead up to it because you could see it was outperforming on price. And then you're like, oh, hold on a second. Then you look at the team and you look at what they're trying to do, and then you can see that the mind share online is picking up, and you're like, okay, it's actually the best technology. It's probably got the most use cases. It's the fastest, and it has the best team, and it's performing on price. So the volatility, and it has a low float. So it has a low float of tokens, which in a bull market means it can go up astronomically. So it's very sensitive to buy pressure. But unfortunately, because there aren't as many spot positions in SUI, what people do is they borrow against their Bitcoin and Ethereum to buy some of these alts, and when there's a drawdown, they get liquidated, and then SUI crashes the most. And it's a risk curve. You got Bitcoin that dropped by 30%. Everything's correlated with Bitcoin. I was more confident when it dropped by 60% because I could see it was just copying Bitcoin, just mirrored Bitcoin. Bitcoin dropped by 30%, Ethereum drops by 40, Solana drops by 50, and SUI drops by 60. I'm like, okay, this is and when it goes back up, SUI's going to outperform and overtake them. So it's a process and it's been a journey, and I've been learning from it as well. Because I know a part of my excitement, because I own the stuff I'm talking about, so I'm eating my own cooking, is I get excited about it as well. And I want to get that excitement onto you. Gene's just put in there, if you are on the fence, I highly recommend it. Jay's building amazingly supportive community. Gene, I love you, bro. You absolute hero. Yeah, really appreciate it. This is going to be exciting. And I think it's interesting. Someone messaged me the other day. They were like, they actually want us to be part of the founders group to see how it was all growing. So it wasn't even about the NFTs or the crypto. It was like, oh, just want to get just want to see how it's going. And there's like, there's a writer in the group, and I'm like, we have these conversations, and I can help with writing because I know that obviously we're on Substack, so there's a lot of people that follow me who are writers, and yeah, I could have sold writing courses, but I do not want to do that because it's not really a passion. I love writing. Horse Steak, good to see you, my friend. You might need to get on the catch up. I think this has been a good one. Just for a bit of visibility, because I know when I do the lives, I'm straight into it. You can see it's a little bit helter skelter because I'm like trying to get the mic to work. I'm trying to share the stream, and with someone else talking, the lighting's not as good, blah blah blah. But what was I going to say? This talking and actually engaging with people in the comments is what I enjoy. So, all good. Horse Steak, good to see you. How you keeping? June, really appreciate you popping that in there. And Leah, good to see you. Mikhail, Money Maxwell, Money by Name, Money by Nature, my friend. Alexei, good to see you. So, Curtis G in the house. Curtis, you might have to watch the recording back, my friend. It's a good one. So that's it. Trust the process. The thing that people should use, and this is a little tip here, which is anything outside of the ISM framework, that little chart I keep sharing, anything that is outside of that, and let me get it up here and I'll show you guys for the ones that don't know what I'm on about. It stands for the Institute of Supply Managers Survey, and what it is like a sentiment survey that gets sent to 4,000 people who work in supply chain management. And it's laser sharp. Like the Fed use it, the Treasury use it, the president uses it, all the macro investors use it. They all refer to it because it's laser sharp. Because what it does is it tells you about, it's a sentiment signal for business conditions, and business conditions are the most dominant force. Because think about it, the business is doing well. All right, we'll employ someone new. Oh, we've got competition for places. We're going to have to give a pay rise. Oh, financial conditions are good. We can drop interest rates. Oh, my mortgage has gone down. Oh, it means I can borrow more. Okay, now there's more money in circulation. If all of you had a spare $1 million, I fucking guarantee all of you would put some of it into NFTs or crypto. You just would, because that money's there and it has to go somewhere. So or you would put it into technology stock, or you put it into something, you put it to work. And that's what people will do. Anyway, I got waylaid and I keep shaking the camera, so I apologize if you guys are getting dizzy. Victoria Vidandi just liked my video, one about my Bitcoin miss in 2012. Right, I'm getting waylaid here, right? Profile. Ding, 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 ding. Curtis G, I promise you, the live stream is more exciting than what you've walked in on, my friend. Right. So, promise you, oh, what the fuck's going on? The live stream is more exciting than what you've walked in on, my friend. Okay. Okay. So, let's get this out of here. That, I don't know if you guys can see that, is the ISM. I've shared this on a couple of videos, and obviously, let's get this out of here. That, I don't know if you guys can see that. The ISM, I've shared this on a couple of videos, and obviously. Right. I turn the volume off. Can you guys hear me? Just give me a thumbs up or a yes, and I'll start explaining it. Marcus West. If you hit subscribe, and you just put your email in. Okay, Christy, thank you. Marcus, if you just hit subscribe, put your email in, and then it takes you to either monthly, annual, or founding, and you click the founding, and what it will do is I'll send you out a link. Me and you will have a one-to-one strategy call to start with, and then I'll add you to the private chat, and then you'll get access to the monthly group calls where I do a presentation each month. You'll have access to the NFT and crypto giveaways, and also be a part of the community. I mean, there's about 60 of us in there. Like I said at the beginning of the course, some people are more active than others, and some just like to read and learn from the different channels that are in there, but also from some of the people that are in there, because there's some real high caliber people in there as well. So yeah, any questions, mate, just give us a DM. Right. This is the ISM. This stands for the Institute of Supply Managers Survey. If you have, like, you're reading headlines at the moment, and you know, Whale Watcher, or what's that fucking? It's the green one. I can't remember. I think it's called Whale Watcher, and it says, like, they do like 10 posts a day. They're like, oh, 100 or like 10 billion liquidated from the crypto markets. Then it's like 50 billion gone into the, and it's like, it's mind-numbing stuff, guys. It's like, you don't want to follow, uh, the, you don't want to be that granular on these things. The best thing to do is to have a macro investing framework. And what it does is it makes you numb and it draws the emotion out of it. So you're not responding to these fluctuations like this all the time. You're actually just, you're very confident in what's happening. I was very confident, although I didn't have more money to put into Sui. I was very confident with where it was because it was just correlated with Bitcoin, and it's just a risk curve. Bitcoin 30%, I'll repeat it again. Ethereum 40, Solana 50, and Sui 60, and it's just fucking simple. Now, if all of a sudden one goes off of that trend line, all of a sudden Solana starts nosediving and Bitcoin's climbing up, that's probably a signal that there's something's fucking wrong. Something's fundamentally wrong. Joseph, good to see you. Ryan, good to see you. Right, guys. No headline reading. There's going to be a lot of stuff now in the news, and the attention flows is going to create this reinforced loop of people buying, and the price of everything's going to go up. But what you want to do is use the ISM, and this is like a financial conditions index. So it tells you what's happening with business conditions. And what they do is they send a sentiment survey out to 4,000 supply chain management professionals in the US. And the reason why it's significant in the US is because the exporters from around the world are on the same cycle, because America is one of the biggest, or the biggest importer. So all of the exporters are on the same cycle. So you just follow the ISM and it tells you what is happening. And what they do on a monthly basis is they send this survey out to 4,000 supply chain management professionals, and they ask them, right, are you ordering new stock? How much old stock you sat on? Are you going to employ people? What's your view on where things are headed a couple of months down the line? And what it becomes is a leading signal, because now you know what's going to happen with business conditions. And what happens is, if productivity is picking up, a la by the ISM, it leads to corporate profits, which lead to higher stock market prices, which leads to more liquidity in the system, and they find themselves into risk assets. And you're seeing at the moment the stock market is high. Obviously, we had some 4-year cycle related selling, and probably some whales dumping some Bitcoin because they're still playing the 4-year cycle, or maybe they just wanted to get out. It doesn't really matter why they were trying to sell. But my point is, this is ground zero. This thing here. It's a 4. You can see it oscillates like a heart rate monitor on a 4-year cycle, and it's treaded sideways for a period because the what actually happened, when Biden was in power and the interest rates went to zero, is they extended the debt maturity to 5 years. So this is 4-year debt maturity, 4-year debt maturity, and now it's extended. And what it should have done is, probably towards the tail end of last year, is it should have looped up again, but they haven't rolled over the debt. And this is the reason why interest rates have been as high as they have been, um, because they haven't rolled over the debt. They can't roll over the debt when it's at like 3%. It needs to come down lower. They're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. So the highest likelihood is that this goes on until the end of 2026. And a lot of people need to get their heads around that. And for a lot of the folks in the founding group, is that, like, we've been speaking about this for a few months. A few people went their own direction and said, look, I'm going to sell my stuff, and I think this is the end of the cycle. And more to you got to do whatever you got to do. But all this stuff is playing out. All this stuff is playing out, and like, the the liquidity thing. And I know Raoul Pal talks about this quite a lot. He talks about the M2 stuff. So does Julian Bissell. It's detached from M2, so we have to accept that is probably no longer the thing. It is the most dominant force. It will probably catch up at some point. But this ISM is the thing. And timing-wise, it might not work exactly how you want it to work, but directionally, you know what's going to happen. Now, the ISM at the moment is 48.2. A score of 50 and towards mid-50s is a healthy economy. Below 50, but trending downwards. So below 50, which it's at the moment, but trending downwards, is usually heading into bear market. But you can see that we've already had that downward trend, and interest rates are coming down, the dollar's coming down. So this should be expected to come back up. We're not at the stage of the cycle where things are overheated. So it's very obvious. It's very obvious that the stuff. If you're in these assets, don't day trade around them. Don't think you're Paul Tudor Jones and you can just, like, day trade this stuff. NFTs are even harder because there's a human on the other side of it. You're not going to know how that human's thinking. You may be able to sell something above the floor price or whatever, and someone will buy it. There's people in my group at the moment getting absolute steals on stuff on curio cards because they're putting in offers, because they know how to put in the offers, because Constantine has shown them in the group and he's done a bit of a white glove service with them. So that's the game. That's the game. But for the for the late ones that have joined, I'm going to send the recording out. It's going to be a big year for Carrot Lane because I'm going to dovetail off of the attention flows that crypto and NFTs get, and I'm going to make sure it benefits the founding group the most. That's going to happen because I'm going to get these founders on these calls, and I'm not going to do it for nothing. They're going to, usually you can strike a bit of a deal where you get allow list options, and that's going to be ring fenced to the founding group. The other thing on top of this is if in the future, which is looking very likely, the newsletter gets sponsored, again, that goes back into it will go back into the founding group because I want to grow it and I really want to make it a place that just outstrips anywhere people want to be. I want to make it the best. And actually, when people get to the end of the year and they've had a year's membership, they look back on it and go, shit, I'm actually, if I look at my assets here, I'm up. And, a lot of this stuff, I've never bought an NFT before. And actually, I'm up and actually, I've won 2 NFTs, which has just covered my membership. And like, I want to do crazy shit like that. And that's the plan because my whole thing is one, I enjoy this. I love the community. I love hanging out. I love doing the monthly Zoom calls where we just kind of shoot the shit for 3 hours. But I'm going to do just fine in the stuff I'm in. So this is about building up Carrot Lane, the views, and just getting some really high caliber guests on. That's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. Folks, has anyone got any questions? Because I've basically just talked to a screen for the last probably an hour, and I'm going to sip my Sprite Zero after I've just nailed a McFlurry. Okay. Mike Lewis, good to see you, my friend. Ryan, good to see you. Joseph, good to see you. Lovely jubbly. Adrian, it's going to be a big year, my friend. It's exciting. A lot of people, and not a lot of people, people will make a lot of mistakes because a lot of people have already got out of risk assets and they'll be in denial. I'm listening to these. Oh, I can't even. I did a reaction video. I don't want to badmouth anyone else doing content because people are just trying out here. But that Leia Hepburn or something, I can't remember her name. She's a very attractive girl, but she talks about Bitcoin. I'm just like, it's like, yeah, well, I sold all of my Bitcoin, and I told you, all of you guys should have done the same, and because it's all about capital preservation, blah blah blah. And now the fucking thing's up again, and she's not saying anything about it. Okay, well, show me the receipts where you sold. Show me the receipts. I took a screenshot of all of my NFTs or my VFriends NFTs, and I posted it on X, and I was like, guys, this is. I'm not selling a single one, although I actually have one listed because you know it is tax season. So, um, so yeah, guys, if anyone's got any questions, hey, Adrian, get yourself in that founding group, my friend. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. Also, just while you guys are listening, is is there anything that you like? I hear the comments loud and clear about talking more about some of the majors like the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana's, XRP, Do, like some of the bigger coins that people have exposure to. But are there any topics you want me to talk about more, or any guests that you want me to get on that you think? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know. Obviously, if not, um, James, good to see you, my friend. See, oh, is it the same James, but you've just put your profile picture? Have I got that right? Okay, I hope I've got that right. Or it might be a different James. Oh no, it's a different James. Uh, we got two Jameses in the house. Okay, I'm going to drop off now, guys. Last reset. 22, 26 is going to be big. I'm not going to scare the shit out of you with fear and all this sort of stuff. What you should be doing is just be playing multiple cycles. And actually, if you sell on good assets, you can basically just do nothing. Literally just do nothing. Some of you got PTSD from the last cycle, so you want to sell out just to um, just get some profits and feel something. What a lot of people are going to do, especially in the NFT space, is they the ones that were underwater from last cycle is they're going to sell at a loss. Um, some of them just disappeared from the NFT space and they actually haven't seen what's been going on in some of the developments for some of the projects, so they don't understand what is actually happening. Um, and some of the stuff that like Pudgy Penguins has done, V Friends, Good Vibes Club, Chimpers, some of these projects you would never have known about, but now you can actually see that there's some um, there's this runway of development. Um, but people are going to sell out these projects when there's a liquidity pump, and that is going to be a big mistake. They're also going to do the same with crypto that they've been down on. Potentially, people bought Ethereum at the top, and they're going to sell it, and those are all big mistakes because we didn't come this far to screw it up. Um, but a lot of this stuff we're going to be talking about monthly in the founding group, and also I've extended the one-to-one calls to 2 for the year. So I'm going to send out communication about that soon. But you can pick a time in the first half of the year and pick a time in the second half of the year where we can jump on a call anytime. It's an hour, just basically talking about anything around, your kind of crypto strategy or NFTs and the things that you're getting into. And just on a very like a great note is that the people in that group are so locked in and so in tune with what's going on is some of them are actually like overtaking me on some of the stuff that they're getting into because they're smart people. They're like smart people who like know what they're talking about now. And I actually dived in the group and I'm like, oh, okay. Alexander put some good stuff in there. Mike, you're the same, bud. Like some of the stuff that you sell, I'm like, okay, that's good shit. Like some of your takes on crypto skulls I thought were brilliant. There's a bit of a Alex trying to do some of the execution stuff for crypto skulls. I think probably distracts from the historical element, but he doesn't really know how to market it without actually doing any of these extra fluffy things. And I thought some of your takes were really good. Same with Eugene. And yeah, I'm quite clearly going to miss people out. Um, Curtis G. I was listening to Bren. Yeah, Bren is top draw. Folks, if anyone's got any questions, just drop them in quickly. I'm going to give you a minute, and then I'm going to dive off. But I will send the recording out. It's a real good one. There's some alpha in here. So those of you who caught it late, make sure you watch it back. And obviously, it's the plans of Carrot Lane. Because remember, this has to grow, and it will. 900 on a live stream last night with Brett. I might get that. I might have exaggerated that. It might have been like 870 or something. But they're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, when like you imagine the height of the market, everyone wants to learn about this stuff, and me and Bren are doing these streams, and it's going to be insane. And also, Curtis, Bren is going to be doing guest posts on some of the TA stuff in Carrot Lane as well. You might have seen a post already on it, which is cool. Guys, girls, Christy, Sid, I'm going to miss a girl out because there's someone else I've missed out. I've missed out. Christy. Ding, 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 ding. Christy, Sid, S, No. So it's just Christine said, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Christy, I appreciate your support. And Sid, don't be such a stranger. Get yourself in the founders chat. Love you guys. Listen, I really appreciate your support. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. 2026 is gonna be so big. It's gonna be so big, and I'm so fired up for it. It's gonna be massive. But we're gonna nail it with surgical precision. We're gonna nail it, and people are gonna know what to do, and it's gonna be balanced to what their circumstances are. Most of you don't need to sell. You can just play the long game. You can just add during a drawdown. Some of you have some lifestyle things you want to do, the debt, the pay the thing off, the holiday. You want to feel the frivolous thing, buy the car, do the kitchen, do whatever. And you should definitely feel that. And you should definitely do that. And we'll get it somewhere near where the market's hot. And we'll de-risk a little bit. And, if things run really hot, maybe we have like a yacht party in the Med or something. I'm joking. Anyway, guys, love you. Gonna love and leave you. Appreciate the support from everyone, even the shares. People upgrading their subscriptions, all those sorts of things means a lot. It all helps, and it's not lost on me that I've got a whole bunch of people supporting me. We're going to nail this. It's going to be good. Love you guys. Victoria, great live. Thank you, Jayden. Thanks. Just a reminder, guys, before all of you in here, I hear a little rumor through the grapevine that Victoria is dropping some art soon, so you may want to go and support her. She's fucking amazing. And just out of the soul goodness of her heart, I'm going to let you know on the secret here. She designed the logo for me for Carrot Lane, which is brilliant. So there's a bit of story behind Carrot Lane around first ever female artist doing the actual art. And it's in my bid to give everything meaning. It's now given it meaning. And so Victoria, I really appreciate you. You did a hell of a job on it. Certainly better than someone I would have hired or whatever, but yeah. Okay, guys, gonna love and leave you. Those of you that missed the live stream, gonna send it out on record. Probably do it in a minute. It takes a bit of time to get through to me, but fuck, I love you guys. 2026, it's gonna be so big. Can't wait to have you on the journey with me. Cheers, guys. Curtis, see you later. Christy, it's beautiful. Curtis G, cheers. Cheers, guys. Love you.